All right, so up next, we have one of the frontline women talking about January 6th. Please welcome Mickey to the stage.
Just gonna wait for my video.
There's an estimated over 3 million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on the ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue and Patriots and Trump. And it was amazing. You can see the president talk. We are now walking down the inaugural path to the Capitol building. 3 million plus people. God bless America, Patriots.
My name is Mickey Withoff. I'm the proud mother of murdered victim Ashley Babbitt, 4-time deployed American United States Air Force veteran. There were times when my daughter was in precarious situations in the Middle East, and there were days I was surprised not to get a phone call something god-awful had happened to her. So to come home and go to a Stop the Steal rally and come home in a box is just an unacceptable thing. You know, the man that murdered my daughter gave no warning. People say that Ashley should have complied. She was given no orders to comply with. My daughter was well versed in the use of force continuum, and Michael Byrd, the man who murdered her, skipped all the steps of the use of force continuum. He never identified himself as a person, much less a police officer. There was a still shot up there of my daughter punching Zach Alam, who was the man that broke the glass that she eventually went up into. The video you saw of my daughter being so proud to be an American that day, that was her state of mind. That 2 hours later, she was dead, she was murdered, she was shot. So and then the cover up and the lies began, and they continue to this day. So I've been in DC with a group of dedicated people that are there with me.
Sorry, folks.
Thank you. And we hold a vigil outside the DC jail every night for 300 days. We go to congressional hearings and we go to the courtrooms where they hold their kangaroo courts, and they continue to deny people their constitutional rights, their human rights, and their provisions as members of this country and proud American citizens. So, you know, there were millions of people at the Capitol that day, and so I think we need to focus on why they were there. And, you know, not everybody there, it wasn't exactly all about Trump. You know, I'm not all about Trump. I'm all about a proper investigation into the day, the whole day. And if you go to these kangaroo courts, you will absolutely see that they do not try these men for their crimes and their actions. They try the day on the calendar. So we need a change of venue for these men, because the DCites are nobody's peers. You're supposed to be judged by a group of your peers. And we go in there, we participate in every level of the trial. We see the voir dire process where they're questioning the jury. And without fail, DC residents will say they do have strong feelings about January 6th, and they don't think they can overlook them, and the judge seats them anyway, many judges. And then they continue to deny the evidence that can come in, and really just steer these trials in a way that does guarantee an over 99% conviction rate. So, you know, like I said, we're in DC, we're holding a candlelight vigil, and you know, it's my position that you know, we absolutely deserve an investigation. I don't think I'm anybody special. I've never done anything for this country that I'm proud to say I did, but my daughter was absolutely a very special person. So Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips absolutely deserve deserve an investigation into what happened to them that day. It's not a question of whether there were FBI operatives on the ground that day, it's just a question of how many and how much of the violence they steered or perpetuated. We absolutely know that's a fact. We watched the Capitol Police, the Metropolitan Police wage war on American citizens that day. My daughter, in my mind, was guilty of no more than trespassing, which is not an executionable offense in this country. A lot of people say American citizens shouldn't have been where they were. They absolutely should have been. We absolutely have a right to protest and redress our government. And it was absolutely the police that waged war on American citizens that day. The American citizen that should not have been there that day was Michael Leroy Byrd, Lieutenant Michael Leroy Byrd, who murdered my daughter in cold blood and has to this day not been investigated or questioned. He had prior excessive use of force issues that in any other police force in this country, he would have been fired. He left his loaded weapon in a public restroom for somebody else to find. These should be grounds for dismissal, not promotion. So I want to know who's responsible for this. And we know, we have hearings coming up. Yolanda Pittman, her days are numbered. That's not a threat, that's a promise. We want to know what happened, with the pipe bombings. That was absolutely a ruse to thin out the Capitol Police force. Some of them went this way, some of them went that way. We need an investigation of Officer Bagshaw, who beat Victoria White within an inch of her life. We need an investigation into Leila Morris, who absolutely, with evidence on video, beat Roseanne Boylan to death after she was already down and bleeding from the mouth. Leila Morris continued to strike her in the head until she lost her life. We need an investigation into the events of all of it. We have a man, Sarah McAbee's husband, who was a sheriff in this very county we're in right now, who has been persecuted, and he's more than almost 300 days before he's been in front of a judge. Like I said, these judges, they're predispositioned to decide what they're already going to decide. And so, I would say everybody in here is probably feeling a little sad for Ashley, a little sad for me, but I ask you, I implore you, don't be sad for me. Be brave for Ashley, because that's what she deserves. And we hear up here, we hear the question, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? That's the absolute question. We the people be the people. Because these people in this room, there's only a couple of us, but it's going out to live stream. And this is our message. We are the hope. The people in this room are the hope. We are the strength of this country. And big government, large government, they have absolutely overstepped their bounds here. And the lies continue. So, the January 6th committee hearing was nothing but a farce and a lie. We have the same 4 officers that testify in all these cases. Officer Michael Fanone is a gross human being. I mean, he did suffer some things that day, but I suggest that some of those things were orchestrated and perpetuated and lied about to this day. He asked for, he goes and he always is there to present his victim impact statements, and he asked for no mercy. He asked for judges to reach beyond the recommended sentence. And so he's just, he's ever present. And we need the truth out of him. I know there's evidence of his lies, there's evidence of Harry Dunn's lies, we have all this stuff. And so we absolutely need our congressional members to take a look at it. We are making progress along with Sarah McAbee and Anastasia. We have had weeks where we had 20 meetings with congressional staff and members, and we do feel like we're making progress. But as American citizens, you need to put pressure on these politicians, because they will always, no matter what promises they make to you, they will always be politicians first. So if they feel the pressure from the American people, that's when they're going to act. So you need to call and make your voice known. Make a phone call, send an email. And it's like, there were over 1 million people there that day. And I understand that American citizens are scared because they don't want to be the ones under the bus. They don't want to be the ones in jail. But if every single person that was there that day stands up and says something, anything, make a phone call, write a letter, continue the pressure. So we absolutely have to have an investigation of this. We as American people deserve it. And when we go out on the corner for over 300 nights now, we are attacked by Antifa. And these Antifa members are paid agitators. I have not had so much as a speeding ticket in my adult life, and I've been arrested 2 times since I've been in Washington, D.C. Apparently marches are an issue for me, because every time we have a march or an event, I end up in cuffs in the back of a police car. The first time I was arrested, it was for trying to lay a rose on the anniversary of January 6th. I was arrested for failure to obey and impeding traffic. And then, I don't know I was also arrested for
Freedom Corner.
some possible real stuff, but I broke a megaphone, so I did. Anarchy Princess, I almost hesitate to say her name, but she's awful. She stalks us, and at every chance she gets, she says awful things about me, about my daughter, about everybody standing out there. And so I did break a bullhorn and act outside myself, so there is that. On tape, on video. No sense in doing it if the world can't see, right? So, you know, I just ask as American citizens to keep an open mind and don't believe the lies that have been told to you. I know that some people in this room were there on January 6th because y'all have told me. So, like I said, don't be sad for me, be brave for me, be brave for Ashley, be brave for Roseanne, be brave for Kevin, be brave for Benjamin. You know, we live in DC in what we call the Eagle's Nest, a very eclectic group of people. I live there, Nicole Griffin lives there, Tommy Tatum, who was right beside Roseanne Boylan when she was beaten to death, Gary McBride, who has seen more J6 video than anybody, and Tammy Perryman, who is also the wife of a January 6th defendant. So we spend our days either in the courthouse or in the halls of Congress, and then at night we hold a vigil. And so we just need American people. We need support. We need people to be a voice for the voiceless. You know, like I said, I was very apolitical before January 6th, and then on January 6th, this country took more from me than my daughter. You know, I woke up on January 7th not believing anything that has ever been told to me. You know, as an ordinary citizen, you think, well, the FBI would never do that, but they did. You know, that the United States government would never do that, but they did. And they continue to repress these men in jail and, you know, offer them these horrible plea deals. And a lot of the men that are in jail right now are connected to Roseanne Boylan's murder. So they threaten these men with life in prison and then offer them plea deals so that they will take these god-awful plea deals and then the discovery doesn't have to come out.
Sure, Lala.
Because they know if these cases go to trial, it's going to show their culpability. So they don't want that. But I feel we're on the precipice of change. We are absolutely on the precipice of change. So everybody needs to get on board and do their best to be a strong American citizen. It's hard because when you know you're risking the full weight of the United States government coming down on you, it's oppressive, it's scary. And I don't have anything left to lose, y'all, because this has touched my family in ways that I cannot even articulate. So be bold, be brave, and just do what you can. God bless you and God bless America.
Hey.
Tonight, but I knew that you, I don't know if is this working? Okay, great. But I knew you needed to
sorry
get
about that,
on
folks.
plane, so I made sure that I was able to give it to you in person while you're still here.
Sorry about that, folks.
So we're doing Personal Sovereignty Leadership Awards. I believe that we all need to exercise personal sovereignty.
Sorry.
And we need to do it by leading by example. And I'm so grateful to people like you who are turning such injustice into a fight for justice.
It's a baby.
And I'm gonna cry. The quote that I found, I wanted to find a quote that resonated for each person I'm honoring, and it's the strongest person in the world is a grieving mother that wakes up and keeps going every morning. And you do, and I don't know how you do, but we're so grateful because you are fighting for all the injustice that really all of us are experiencing, but especially your daughter and the J6ers. So this is for you. Thank you so much for everything you do, for your courage, for your strength, for your conviction. Thank
you. For y'all. Thank you so much. This is such a special honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. Oops. Yeah, I'll clip it separately. Let's see about that. And you trolls said, Vic the Corn, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. That's all I gotta say. Bring a trolls. You know better than to try to troll a troll.